Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we cut through the noise, get straight to the essential insights you need to stay well informed. Today, we're diving deep into the 2025 Cleveland Browns season. It's a topic you've specifically highlighted for us, and, well, one that promises to be nothing short of eventful.
Yeah, absolutely. Last year's tough 3-14 record was a stark reminder, wasn't it?
Yeah.
How quickly fortunes can turn in the NFL, but the offseason, wow. It's truly brought a whirlwind of changes and, let's be honest, quite a bit of drama. We've gone through stacks of your sources, the insightful pieces from Walter Football, Athlon Sports Football, FanSpot, and those comprehensive schedules from sportsbrackets.net. Really tried to extract the critical nuggets you need to understand what's really happening in Cleveland.
Okay, so our mission today: unpack all the significant shifts, roster, coaching, look at the, frankly, surprisingly bleak predictions for their win-loss record, highlight those specific points of contention that are bubbling up, and get you up to speed on the latest training camp news and injury updates. And of course, we'll break down that schedule. It looks brutal. You can find it in full detail at sportsbrackets.net. Covers everything from preseason right through the 2026 NFL playoffs and Super Bowl.
Okay, let's unpack this. Starting with, well, the position that always seems to be at the center of the Browns universe.
The quarterback situation. For most franchises, it's often the most stable or at least the most clear position. But for the Browns, it has always been dynamic, maybe, to put it mildly. This year, however, it's practically unprecedented. Deshaun Watson, who was supposed to be the franchise-changing move 3 off-seasons ago, she's reportedly out for the entire 2025 season, suffered a second Achilles injury, just catastrophic. And this blow leaves Cleveland grappling with a truly remarkable 4-way quarterback battle heading into training camp. 4 quarterbacks, that's not just too many chefs, like you said. That sounds like a recipe for chaos, doesn't it? We're talking veterans Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett, plus rookies Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, all vying for the start. What are the inherent challenges for a coaching staff trying to manage that many? How do they even begin to evaluate them effectively, especially with so much on the line?
That's a crucial question. I mean, the sheer volume makes it incredibly difficult. How do you give any single player the ribs they need to really gel with the offense? And the dynamics of these specific 4 players add layers of complexity. Joe Flacco, he's 40, turning 41 by week 1. He's currently pegged as the front runner. He had that incredible folk hero run in 2023, right? Leading the team to the playoffs, impressive stats, averaging over 320 yards per game in his 5 starts.
Yeah, I remember that. He looked revitalized.
He did. But here's the rub. His play undeniably dropped off in 2024. And even that 2023 playoff performance, it ended with a couple of critical pick sixes.
Yeah.
So this isn't just about age. It highlights the Browns' precarious position. They're relying on a high-variance veteran. Their ceiling and floor are perhaps wider than any other team in the league.
Yeah.
It forces you to ask, are they chasing past magic or just delaying the inevitable search for a long-term solution?
And then there's Kenny Pickett. Okay, the Browns acquired him in a trade with the Eagles after Pittsburgh seemingly just gave up on him. Our sources note he had the lowest passing touchdown percentage in NFL history during his time with the Steelers, 1.8%. That's stunning. He's also had trouble staying healthy, isn't known for accuracy or deep throws, and usually only manages about 1 touchdown drive per game. The odds of him working out well don't just not look great. They seem to be fighting historical precedent. What was the thinking there? Just a warm body.
It speaks to the desperation, frankly. They needed bodies, maybe hoped to change of scenery would unlock something. But, as Football FanSpot highlights, the tape doesn't lie. Now, what's truly fascinating here is how the rookies fit into this crowded picture. The Browns' draft strategy at QB this year was, let's just say, controversial. They initially drafted Dylan Gabriel, 3rd round, pick 94. And the word on the street, according to multiple sources, was that Gabriel at 5'10" isn't considered a serious pro prospect. Lacks real NFL tools, is the phrase you hear. Great college player, sure, but the leap to the pros requires different physical attributes, and many scouts just don't see them there.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting and a little head-scratching strategically. Despite many predicting Shedeur Sanders as like a top-tier quarterback prospect, he famously slid all the way to pick 144 in the 5th round. And what did the Browns do? After picking Gabriel, they then took Sanders. That initial Gabriel pick over Sanders was called a debacle by some sources. Walter Football even gave the Gabriel pick a million to the millionth power grade, which is extreme disapproval. Sanders himself, he's already drawn comparisons to Tom Brady, hoping for that late-round success story. But the 5th round, historically, it's a quarterback graveyard. What was the thinking? Calculated risk or just pure chaos?
It certainly looks like a desperate scattershot approach, doesn't it? Sanders' slide, well, Athlon Sports points out various factors. Teams maybe not wanting to deal with his father, Dion, Tangana, that's a significant off-field dynamic. There were also concerns about him being maybe overrated as a prospect, had that 13-12 record at Colorado. Plus, he's already made headlines for multiple speeding tickets back in June. GM Andrew Berry called it just not smart. Not a great start. So while it's possible he'll be QB3 or QB4, spend the year on the bench learning, the history of late-round QBs is against him. But if this season goes poorly, yeah, we might see him on the field by December. Thrown into the fire simply out of necessity. Given that Flacco hasn't started 10 games in a season since, 2017, and questions around Pickett, it feels almost inevitable we'll see multiple quarterbacks start for the Browns this year, which unfortunately continues that carousel trend they're infamous for. Leaves fans wondering if they'll ever find stability under center. Exactly. And beyond the perennial quarterback drama, the Browns had significant changes elsewhere. Indicates a deeper transition, really. On offense, maybe the most impactful loss is longtime running back Nick Chubb. After that gruesome knee injury, our sources indicate he was just a shell of his former self last year trying to return. His inability to return to form meant losing that consistent ground-pounding presence that anchored their offense for so long.
So with Chubb gone, who steps up? Is anyone ready to fill those massive shoes, or is it a totally different identity for their run game now?
It looks like a definite committee approach, and one already fraught with challenges. The Browns used a second-round pick on Quinshon Judkins from Ohio State. Physical inside runner, expected to be the lead back. Especially with head coach Kevin Stefanski returning to calling plays in a wide zone scheme, should fit Judkins' style. However, there's been immediate significant drama. Judkins was arrested on domestic violence charges earlier this month.
Oh, wow. I saw that headline. That jeopardizes everything, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Jeopardizes his career before it even starts. Creates a massive headache for the organization. Leaves a gaping hole in their plans. They also drafted Dylan Sampson in the 4th round. Smaller, speedier, change-of-pace back. And incumbent Jerome Ford will remain involved, especially in passing situations. But yeah, it's a highly uncertain and potentially volatile backfield.
Okay, given that uncertainty on the ground, what does that mean for their ability to attack through the air? Let's turn to the receivers. Seems like the drama continues there, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jerry Jeudy returns as the #1 option. And while he had a career year in 2024, over 1,200 yards, first Pro Bowl, his consistency is a big question mark. Some sources attribute that breakout more to Jameis Winston's fearless, high-volume passing, not necessarily a fundamental change in Judy's game. Sidney Tillman is expected back in the starting lineup, but he's widely described as an underwhelming #2 option. Lacks that dynamic playmaking ability. And then they signed Deontay Johnson. Talented, yes, but described as a disruptive head case. Played for 3 different teams in 2024 alone. His history of drops, sideline outbursts, off-field issues. It raises serious concerns about locker room chemistry and just general reliability.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of personality, potential conflict in one room, especially if the offense is struggling. How about tight end in the offensive line? That O-line used to be a real strength for them.
You're right, tight end is one bright spot. David Njoku, he's expected to be a key target, had that strong connection with Flacco in 23, offers a reliable athletic option. However, the offensive line, once a consistent strength, now has some significant concerns. Left tackle Jedrick Wills is gone after struggling. His replacement, DeJuan Jones, is recovering from knee surgery and struggled last year. Not ideal. The interior with Joel Bitonio and Wyatt Teller is still strong, but Bitonio, he's 34 now. Reportedly considered retirement this offseason. That speaks to the overall aging of the unit, right?
Yeah.
Many of the veteran linemen are now on the wrong side of 30. Raises questions about durability and performance over a long season.
So, given all this offensive uncertainty, the sheer number of question marks, the defense will undoubtedly bear a heavy load. It often does for Cleveland. But even there, we saw some offseason drama, didn't we? Particularly around Myles Garrett. What's the outlook for that side of the ball?
It's complex. The defense should be better than it was in 2024. It ranked 19th in yards surrendered, which was a significant drop from being #1 in yards allowed in 2023.
Right.
That regression was alarming.
Myles Garrett.
Yeah. The 2023 Defensive Player of the Year, he publicly requested a trade back in February, said he wanted to go to a winner.
Oof. That had to send shockwaves.
It did. Huge shockwaves.
Yeah.
But the Browns eventually convinced him to stay. Massive extension, 4 years, $160 million. Makes him the highest paid non-QB in history. So he's back, still an elite edge defender, commands extra attention. But, that public drama could be a lingering issue under the surface.
That's a huge sigh of relief for Browns fans, definitely. But what about other significant impacts? Who are they missing, and who did they bring in?
The biggest blow on defense, without a doubt, is the neck injury to linebacker Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Significant injury. He had an absolutely amazing season in 2024 before getting hurt. He's going to miss all of 2025. This is a massive loss. He brought that unique blend of speed, coverage, blitzing. Few linebackers have that skill set. His absence fundamentally alters their scheme. To address it, they drafted Carson Schwezinger in the second round, athletic but raw talent, and signed veteran Jerome Baker for immediate help. On the D-line, they made some upgrades, signed Malia Collins, proven run stuffer, and notably drafted Mason Graham with the 5th overall pick. Athlon Sports describes him as an exceptional talent with great potential, a cornerstone piece for the future.
Okay, how about the secondary? That seemed to struggle last year, too, after being so strong in 23.
You're right to point that out. Cornerbacks Martin Emerson and Greg Newsome both notably struggled in 2024 after previous strong seasons. They're still young, have bounce-back potential, sure, but their regression is a real concern. Denzel Ward remains a top corner, but even he had a down season by his own high standards. At safety, Ronnie Hickman showed promise, expected to step into a full-time starting role. They added DeMonte KZ and Rayshawn Jenkins for veteran depth. The talent is there, but consistency was a real issue last year. They'll need that secondary to be elite if the offense struggles like we think it might. And moving to special teams can often be overlooked, but wins or loses close games, right? We saw regression last year, particularly with kicker Dustin Hopkins. After a franchise record-setting 2023 made 33 of 36 field goals, he struggled significantly in 2024, hit only 18 of 27.
Wow, that's a huge drop-off.
Huge. Alarming. He missed critical kicks that directly impacted game outcomes. And despite having a contract through 2027, his future remains very uncertain. The team's hoping he bounces back, obviously. But a shaky kicker is a massive liability for a team projected to be in many low-scoring contests. Punter Corey Bojorquez, though, he's been consistently solid. That'll be crucial if the offense is stalling out frequently.
Okay, so given all these moving pieces, the unprecedented QB situation, roster shakeups, key injuries, the defensive drama, what's the general outlook? And what does it mean for Kevin Stefanski? He's a 2-time Coach of the Year, but is his job safe with such a potentially challenging season ahead?
Well, look, they were a 3-14 team last year, and our sources generally paint a very pessimistic picture for 2025. The offense remains a huge question mark. Quarterback, left tackle, 2 critical spots. What's also telling is the roster's age. 5th highest average age in the NFL. That indicates a veteran team may be on the downside of its collective prime. Furthermore, a really strategic move earlier this year suggests their long-term thinking. They traded down from the 2nd overall pick in the 2025 draft. Why? To secure an extra first-round pick in 2026, that strongly suggests they're already looking ahead, looking at next year's much better quarterback class and maybe a larger rebuild.
So it sounds less like a competitive year and more like a season focused on developing young talent, laying groundwork, almost like a bridge year, even if they aren't fully tearing down.
That's absolutely the consensus from the sources we looked at. Walter Football projects them to finish 4-13, 4th in the AFC North. And look at their schedule. It's incredibly tough. Bengals, Ravens, Packers, Lions, Vikings, Steelers, 49ers, Bills, and a truly brutal first 6 games. Starts September 7th, home against the Bengals. It's going to be challenging right from the jump. In fact, the betting odds, they suggest under 5.5 wins. Last place in the AFC North seems highly probable. It's not just their own struggles. They face a gauntlet.
Yeah, it really sounds like a season where maybe developing young guys, managing that QB carousel, finding out if a rookie like Shedder Sanders can emerge. Maybe those are the real wins for the Browns this year, rather than what shows up in the official win-loss column.
Ultimately, yeah. The 2025 Cleveland Browns season is shaping up to be pivotal, but maybe not in the way fans hoped. So much uncertainty at quarterback, key players aging or hurt, new drama popping up. The defense will need to carry an exceptionally heavy load. It's a team clearly in transition, seemingly preparing for a larger rebuild in 2026, like we said, evidenced by that draft strategy to acquire future capital.
So what does this all mean for you, the loyal Browns fan, or maybe just the curious football observer? Well, the win-loss column might not be pretty, but the sheer drama, the potential for a rookie QB to emerge from this crowded battle, that'll definitely be something to watch. Will they finally find their long-term signal caller? Or will the quarterback carousel just keep spinning year after year? Only time's going to tell if this foundational work truly pays off. And remember, you can find all those detailed schedules we mentioned preseason through the 2026 NFL playoffs and Super Bowl. Check them out at sportsbrackets.net.
And that's our deep dive into the 2025 Cleveland Browns season. Thanks for joining us.
Until next time, stay well informed and keep looking for those aha moments that bring clarity to the noise.